topic, children. Our next topic is national development. Children, before I explain national development, first of all, let us understand the term nation. What do you understand by nation? Children, nation means nothing but a group of individuals or group of citizens, the group of people. The people, they comprises of a nation, the group, the whole slot, they comprises of a nation. Now children, since individuals, they have different notions for their development, so similarly, the aim or the idea for the development of nation will also be different. The perspective of every individual is different, as we already studied. So the development or the notion for development for the nation, that will also be different. So we can say that since individuals seek different goals, the notion of national development will also be different, or it's likely to be different. For example, children, you are watching television in your drawing room, and you are sitting along with your family like your father, mother, brother, and you are sitting and watching some news channel, and the topic or the discussion is going about national development. That what are the goals or what should be the criteria for national development. Then father says that corruption free India or corruption free country, that can be the notion for national development. You and your brother are telling that education to all or better job opportunities can be the notion or can be the ideal principle for national development, while your mother told that reduction in prices, that can be the notion for national development. So as we just saw that all the family members, they have different notions, they have different developmental goals for the nation. So the question is that what goals should be suitable or what criteria is suitable or what is the idea that can be taken up for national development. What are the ideas? What should be accepted? What should be widely accepted for the development of nation? So the answer of this question is greatest benefits to greatest people. Now what do you understand by this statement? Greatest benefits to greatest people or more and more people. It means the notion or the criteria that gives more and more benefit to number of people, to several people, that criteria should be selected or that criteria should be opted for national development. The thing, that the goal, the criteria, the perspective that is giving benefit to more and more people, that can be taken as the developmental goal for nation. For example, children, if I take the example of construction of highway or construction of dam in some rural area, because of that construction 500 people are displaced. This is just a hypothetical example. Hypothetical means an example or a thing that is not real. I'm just imagining this situation in order to explain you. So I was just saying that construction of highway in some rural area, and because of that construction approximately 500 people are displaced. See, 500 people are displaced, but if that highway is built, if that highway is constructed, it will benefit approximately 5,000 or more people. So see, with the cost of 500 people, since obviously 500 people are displaced, but 5,000 people are being benefited from that construction of highway. So it is causing more and more benefit to more number of people at the cost of few people. So this can be considered as an ideal principle or ideal criteria for choosing choosing the perspective for national development. Means it is causing more benefit to more number of people, and it is causing destruction or damage to less number of people. This can be an ideal situation or ideal goal or ideal criteria or principle in order to set any goal or any perspective for national development. Let's come to the next topic. Our next topic is how to compare countries or states. Means how do we call a particular country or a particular state as developed? How do we call a particular country as or a particular state as not developed or developing? Means what is the criteria? How we are labeling that particular country or that particular state as developed, underdeveloped or not developed. So what is the basic criteria for it? Children, if I talk about some countries, let me take examples. For example, I talk about Bhutan. Bhutan has a lot of greenery. It is full of greenery. It is very beautiful, extremely beautiful. The people of Bhutan, they are very happy. So can we take this greenery or happiness as an index or as a goal or criteria for deciding whether this country is developed or not developed? We can think so. If I take another example, let me talk about USA, United States of America. There are so many industries, there are so many industrialists, businessmen. Can we take that criteria that there are so many industries, the people are very rich, they are hardworking? So can we take this as a criteria? Why not? We were talking right now at a country level. Let's come to a lower level. That is at your school level, at your class level. For example, your class teacher has to select some people, some students for a match, for some kabaddi match. Let's take an example of kabaddi match. Then what will the criteria? Your class teacher will, what will be the criteria or benchmark that will be set up by your class teacher in order to select students for a kabaddi match? The first criteria can be the student is interested in playing. The second criteria can be the student is having good stamina. Third criteria can be he can run well. He knows all the rules and regulations of the match or the game. These can be certain criteria in order to select students for a kabaddi match. Let's take another example. If your class teacher has to select some students for quiz competition, for let's take example of English quiz competition or speech competition, then what will be the criteria for selection of students? The criteria can be the student is having good grammar knowledge, he or she is good in vocabulary, he can speak properly with confidence. These can be the criteria. He can learn well, he can learn the speech well, right? He has good memory power so that he can speak fluently without seeing, without copying. So these can be considered as some of the criteria for selection. So through these examples we just saw that there are different criterias for different purposes. We have to think that what is the purpose. First we need to know our purpose. If we got to know our purpose, then easily we can choose students, or we can choose, or we can just compare countries or states. Now if we are talking at world level, we can say that the country who is more corrupted is said to be less or not developed. The country which is having more connectivity, good connectivity, proper transportation, a lot of industries can be called as more developed, for example USA. And the country like India, it is on the verge of development, it is developing, we are on the path of developed, right? So this can be taken as a criteria. So we saw that there are number of criteria for a number of purposes. We have to think that on which criteria we have to focus. So as we just saw that there are several criteria, but in order to set the notion or the goal, we have to take one base point. We have to consider one base. We have to take one goal as the base for everything, the base point. So children, if we talk about income, is income a suitable goal or a suitable base point? I think yes, of course. Income can be one of the most important attributes for development, for national development, for a country to be developed. So we can say that yes, income can be one of the important or suitable goals or important or suitable criteria if we have to see the national development of a country. So income is one of the important points. Now children, the question is, what will be the income of the country? I told you that income we have to take it as base. Now what will be the income? How we will calculate the income of the country? Does the country earn? Is the country going to offices and going to schools, earning everything? Country is not going. But the residents, the people, the citizens, they are going, they are working, they are earning. So what will be the income of the country? The income of all the residents of the country will be the income of country. Means whatever we are earning, whatever the people of that particular country is earning, all the residents, whatever they are earning, that will be considered as the national development. Means the development, or sorry, national income. Means the income of complete nation. Nation means all the residents, all the citizens, all the people. The combined income of all the residents refers to national income. Now children, national income is not only the criteria for deciding the developmental goals. There are other criteria too, but this can be considered as an important criteria when we are deciding, or whenever we are deciding or thinking about national development. Because children, if I talk about Maldives, Maldives is a small country. The population is quite less in Maldives. So obviously the national income of Maldives will be quite less. And if I talk about USA, USA has a lot of people. The population is very large. The population is very big. So obviously the national income of USA or national income of India will be more as compared to Maldives, because the population is quite high, very high in comparison to Maldives. India has, means the population of India is, I think, second, it is the second largest. So whenever we are talking about the national income, we have to see the population also. We cannot judge, we cannot say only in terms in one single perspective. We have to look at the overall perspectives also. So children, what can be a better criteria or better option in order to label a country or label a state as developed or not developed? Because merely national income is not sufficient. If we take into consideration national income, then the population is a big problem. Because in some countries the population is very high, but in some countries the population is very low. It is not stable, means it is not equal. So we cannot take into consideration national income. So we have to think of any other criteria that is better or that is quite suitable in order to measure or in order to label countries as developed or not developed. So children, the other option is, or the suitable appropriate method in order to compare countries is that of average income. Now what do you understand by average income? Children, average income means total income of the nation divided by total population. Means total income of the nation means whatever income the residents, the people of the country are earning, that divided by the total population, means whatever population is there. So by dividing total income of nations by total population, we will get the average income of the nation. And this average income is also called as per capita income. Now I'll explain this average income with the help of an example. Children, let's consider two countries. First one is country A and the second one is country B. Suppose this is just a hypothetical example, means an imaginary example. So in country A, there are 10 people and all the people, every person is earning rupees 100. So what will be the total income of country A? 100 into 10 means 1000 will be the total income of country A, because 10 people were there and everybody is earning rupees 100. Now let's come to country B. Children, country B has only 5 members, 5 people, and they are also earning 100 rupees per member, means per person. So what will be the total income of country B? It will be 500. So only income cannot be considered as the base, as I told you, because one country there are 10 people and then they are earning 1000 rupees, and in country B there are 5 people earning rupees 100 per people, and that will be 500. But if I take the example, if I take the case of average income, then in case of country A, as I told you, the formula how to calculate average income is total income divided by total population. So the total income of country A is 1000 rupees, and what is the total population? Total population is 10. As I told you that 10 members are there. So 1000 divided by 10. What will be the calculation? It will be 100. So 100 will be the average income or per capita income of country A. Now let's come to country B. As I told that there are 5 members, each earning rupees 100. So what will be the total income of country B? It will be 500 total income divided by total population. What is the population of country B? 5. 5 members are there. So 500 divided by 5. What we will get? 100. So if we are taking into consideration only the national income, then then we cannot label the countries as developed or not developed. But if we are taking average income as the criteria for deciding whether the country is rich or poor, or whether the country is developed or not developed, then we can get the true answer, the true criteria. That will be the true criteria for selection. So if we see this average income, then we can come to a conclusion that both country A and country B, they are earning the same, because the per capita income or the average income of both the countries is 100 only. So with average income we can easily find out the income or the development of the country. So this is more appropriate, more suitable in order to calculate the income of the country, or in order to select the basis for development. So this was all about. And still one more thing, this average income, it gives us a clarity, it gives clarity. In previous one we could not understand that which country is rich or poor, but after calculating, after doing it from average formula, from average income, we can easily calculate, or we can easily find out that which country is rich or poor. So it is giving us a clarity. Now children, let's come to the World Development Report. It is a report that is prepared by the World Bank. Children, the World Bank, they have set a standard, or they have set a benchmark that which country is rich and which country is poor according to the income. For rich country, the per capita income that is set, or the benchmark that is set for the rich country, is $12,236 per annum. The country who is having this $12,236 per annum refers to rich country, and the countries that are having the per capita income as $1,005 per annum, they are considered as low income countries. Now let's talk about India. Children, India is low middle income country because the per capita income is 1840 per annum US dollar. So India is considered as low middle income country.